Hello, Anne and Peter and everybody here. Of course, I've said hello to you, but there we are. Right, we're going to start looking at shadows today. And we're going to start off with this particular picture. Now, I want you to look at this and see the shadows. That's actually a difficult ask. So many people don't, in fact, see shadows. They don't know what they look like because they see them all the time. Okay, so let's explore this. There's a very dark shadow on the top of this box, down the side of the box, and it actually goes across the table as well. There's a very dark line of shadow underneath the box. And there's a very thin line of dark shadow down the side of that box. And there's a shadow down here, which you can only see because of which is fairly dark. And a thin shadow of dark on the shop. Down this side here, there is also a dark shadow. Okay. And then there's a medium shadow on the side of this box, and partially on that box, partially on that round box, and partially on that bottle. And there is the light catching the side of the bottle, thin sliver down the edge of this box, the top of the box on this side, which actually merges with the side of the box, and a little bit of light catching the box, this round box here. Okay. Right. I want you to turn the picture upside down. Doing that for a reason. It stops you seeing it as a box. You start to see it as a group of shapes. And a group of shapes is easier to paint than saying to yourself, this is a box. Okay. You can try this at home. Find a picture that you want to draw, turn it upside down, and draw it upside down. And you'd be surprised how accurate your drawing is. Whereas if you turn it the other way, very often if you can't draw, you have difficulty in drawing, you end up with something that's not quite right. Okay, so there's a tip for you if you want to, when we do get to drawing, and that'll be well down the line. Okay, so we're going to take some paint on our brush. And what I'm going to do is to paint the shadows that I saw. So, are you watching? I'm going to be painting that thin dark line there, this shadow here, this shadow on here, and I'll just do those at the moment. We'll come to round shapes later because it's a bit different. Okay, so what we're going to do is that thin line there, the shadow on the surface of the table, shadow up the side of the box, that shadow there, and this shadow here. We're not going to worry about one being darker than the other. We're just going to paint the shadow as if it was one. Anybody gasping for breath? Do I need to say it again? Right, okay. So let's see you start. It doesn't have to be massive. My picture is quite big, but it doesn't have to be massive. Pardon? So you start with that thin line. I'll put the pic. Right, so we have that thin line, and that continues the shadow of the box there. We've got a shape here, and then that comes up there. And then that goes along there. And this comes here. Yeah, you can't turn it upside down on the screen. Can you, Rachel? She has. All right, that's good. Well done, Rachel. There's a bit of a shadow there. I think that's it. Okay. So if you should have something. Ah, wait a minute. Something like what I've got there. Now, some of these shadows are darker than others, right? So if you want to make your paint darker, you have more pigment, less water. So you don't need to swim your brush with water. Take your brush and take up more paint, twisting your brush in the thing, and mix the paint darker. Mix it on your palette so that it's darker. Okay. I'm just waiting for Pat to catch up. Come on, Pat, I'm waiting for you. Now, the darker shadows are the line, the shadow on the table, the side of the box, and part of this line along here. Because you can see the lighter shadow actually bites into it. Right, okay. You can see that line is darker, the shadow on the table is darker, this face of the box is darker, the top of the box is darker, except where this slightly lighter box comes across it. Okay. So that's the shadows that I'm going to put in. So I've got my picture here. That line is darker. Right. This area is darker. The side of the brush. This area is darker. This area is darker. It goes to a long point there. And comes to there. Like that. And then there is very thin dark line there. That's it. Okay. So put in those dark shadows. Right. Now then, we're going to do the round box. This is a new thought. What you need for the round box is clean water, the fairly accurate thought of where you've been. So listen carefully before you do anything. Pat, listen carefully. Good. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do is to put in water, and only in water, the side of this box. So I'm going to do this part here. It comes up to there, but it goes right, it's bitten by it. Ugh. Okay, that's damaged now. And it comes along here and comes to here. So I'm just putting in that shape in water, clear water. Hopefully. Right, so it starts about there. It comes, see, I'm using the side of the brush, comes down here. I don't want it sodden, I just want it damp-ish. Again, I'm using the whole of the brush, I'm not drawing. And then it comes to about there. And that is the top of it. Okay, then So don't gallop ahead and do it yet until I've finished. Take the water out of the brush by turning it on a piece of cloth. Pick up your paint and put it down this side of your paper. You'll need to take it a bit further there. Another stroke on top of the last one. Tip your paper. Tip your paper sideways. And just let it run. Might need a bit of help in places. Just let it run. So try that. And then we're going to do the same to the bottle. If it goes too far, just mop it up. Ashley, hush. Now, let's see if you've learned anything. I want you to do the bottle in exactly the same way. So look at the bottle, paint it in water, put a bit of paint on the dark side of it, and let it roll. See what you can do. Remember to leave a little space for the top of the little square box when you're making your drawing in water. It doesn't matter. You're learning something. You're not terribly worried if it's out of scale. If it gets just a bit too enthusiastic, you can always take it out a bit. Now, how do I manage to get this edge of the, this edge of the picture in the painting? I do that by painting what's behind it. Okay, and it's quite dark. So I'm going to make my color dark. I need quite a bit of it, but it's quite a big thing. And I put in the dark part of the box. So I'm using the side of the brush. There's a little corner there. And then it comes up here. There we are. Now you can turn your painting the right way up.